to Growing for Good with Funding for Good. I am Mandy Pierce, owner of Funding for Good, and today we're fielding a couple of questions we had left over from a webinar in December to give people answers for things they were looking for that we didn't get to cover online. So we're going to be answering those on videos, we're going to be answering them on blogs, and we're going to be answering them on the Facebook page. So if you haven't had a chance yet to follow us on YouTube, go ahead and click the link below. Follow us on YouTube and you'll be notified when new videos come up. If you haven't had a chance yet to check out our Facebook page, we post lots of interesting information in regards to development work, grant writing, grants that are available. So go ahead and click the link below there and join us on our Facebook page. And then if you haven't joined us on our newsletter yet, you can sign up here. Join us for our weekly newsletters that come out with educational opportunities, information that will help you in your development work. Sometimes we put the videos in those as well, and they typically come out on Wednesdays, so feel free to follow us there, and you should be able to get all the rest of the tips that we're sending out in addition to some new things we're doing this year. So I'm going to go ahead and read the question for you. How to handle some of the tougher conversations gracefully and not defensively, and use them as educational opportunities. For example, when a foundation says, your budget is too large, we like to support smaller organizations where our investment will make a bigger difference. Part of this would be looking at the foundation's website and checking the information that shows who they support and at what level. If they have never supported a larger organization, or their guidelines say, we specifically fund organizations that have an operating budget of this amount or less, and you don't fall into that category, then you're wasting your breath because they have sat down and set priorities for who they do and don't want to support. If it's an organization that has supported larger organizations in the past, but they're just mentioning to you that they don't want to support a large organization, you have a leg to stand on in that conversation. The only other potential educational conversation that you can have is about what are you hoping to achieve with your dollars through the foundation when you talk to a program officer. Do you guys want to see the impact of this in our community? Do you want to see that more children are reading, that more veterans are getting support, that more pets are being placed in foster homes and not euthanized, that, whatever it is that they're wanting to see? Is that what you're wanting to see? And if it is, our organization is doing that and we're doing it really well, and this is the impact we're having in the community, this is the impact we could have with your support, okay? Part of the frustration with this is you have to understand first if it's a priority of the organization or if it's just something they do or don't do. If the foundation has said, we will not give money to organizations that do X, Y, or Z, and you fall into that X, Y, or Z, then you would have to get the board to change the policies of the foundation in order to get money from them, okay? It's like going to the movie theater and saying, hey, I'd like the discount for being a senior citizen just because your body feels like you're 65, but they're not gonna give you that discount because that's how the policy was set up, and you really have to meet those requirements to get the discount, right? It's the same with foundations. There's a possibility they could change their priorities because that happens all the time. They could change their giving policies. That happens all the time. But if it is a policy right now and they're not going to change it, the only benefit you're going to have is potentially educating that program officer who might eventually relay it to their board of directors and might eventually make a change. If you have that kind of time and energy and interest in educating the program officers in your area, I encourage you to do that. There are conversations I've had with program officers just to get the wheels going, knowing that if there was a change that occurred, it would be years down the road. And you have to have that conversation with multiple folks at multiple foundations or multiple boards of directors in order for that change to happen. So ultimately it's a systematic change and it's an education process, and that doesn't happen overnight. But that's where I would start with that conversation. First, determine, is this something set in stone that they cannot change? And if so, do I want to spend the time educating someone knowing I'm probably not going to qualify for that grant or the money from that foundation? Or is it something that's open for discussion? They just feel like possibly we're out of the realm of what they want to support right now, but I might be able to sway them to support me. Once you make that decision, then you can figure out how to move forward in your time management of that particular topic. So anyway, I hope that was helpful, and that's how we've typically handled those in the past here. And when I was a development director, I did the same thing. So I understand your frustration and your desire to help educate the people in those positions. Some of them are already aware of some of those conversations, and it's merely the challenge of educating a board who is the one that can make that change, and you have to get them on board with the idea before they're willing to make a big change like that at a foundation level. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here on Growing for Good with Funding for Good. We hope to see you on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel soon.